Hi Gemini, this is your mid-April 2019 reading. Gemini April is the month when there is a lot of energy focused in your social networks. There's a lot of new contacts, new energy infused into your vision and your goals. Where do you want to go? And this is the month when we try to do the things that are right for us, that are good for us. I spoke about it in detail in a separate video as well on the new moon, which happened at the early part of the month. The new moon at the early part of the month infuse this fresh energy, this impetus, this confidence we need to go after our goals. And with Mars in your sign and your ruling planet Mercury in your house of career, you will be very forthcoming in terms of speaking up. And this will become better after 17th of the month. There will be or might have been a lot of confrontations to some extent in the early part of the month because you are in a phase where you want to get your true share of power, your true share of finances, your true share of the resources, and your true place in the society to some extent. So within the business networks, as you try to create your rightful place within the social networks, the online network, the social groups that we have, or within the friends group that we operate in, as you try to establish your place there, there will be people who would not like who you're becoming, leading to certain amount of power struggles and certain amount of negative encounters that might have happened in the early part of the month. And we are seeing a part of you, a side of you that many of the people have not seen before. Because Gemini, you're a sign who tends to create friendly environment, who tends to stay on the positive side, who tends to stay on the happy and the sunny side. But Saturn and Pluto and South Node in our house of transformation brings out certain elements below the surface that are bothering you, that are not making you happy, that are keeping you in a place where you do not want to stay. And this month, these three planets and points, they're coming together for the first time since 15th century to create a mega purge. And the purge is of everything that is holding you back within you, that is holding you back from becoming as powerful as you deserve to be, as powerful as you intend to be. It is like the external reality has to emulate how you feel within yourself. So Pluto and South Node at the start of the month, they came together around 4th or 5th of this month. They initiated a purge. They initiated information purge. The first thing that happens is that we see where we are holding ourselves back. And that comes out in form of a power struggle with somebody, power struggle with our partners, power struggle with the people who we deal with financially, power struggle with our love partner, with our marriage partner, with our personal partner. And we see where and how we are giving our power away, or where the balance of power does not exist. And Pluto does take us to the darker side in a period where largely the energy would have been positive and you will be partying, you'll be meeting a lot of people, and that energy is still available to you. But this element brings out some amount of things that were hidden below the surface. The manipulation, the giving up of the power, the fears, some amount of addiction to a certain emotional behavior or addiction to certain circumstances, certain power imbalances which are not letting you get your true share. And this amount of inhibition, this amount of fear to some extent is holding you back from becoming very powerful in your external reality, in your career, in your position in the society. And that is what you come to face with. These are the things that we normally do not want to face. It is not about your sign. None of us want to face this side of us. But this is the time when we have to encounter it and we have to put it to bed. And this is the weekend when the turning point begins. We have a very powerful T-square that is getting created, which involves you directly on 14th and 15th of April. Sun or your ascendant, your rising, is opposing Jupiter right now. And they both are forming a T-square with Venus in Pisces. This is a mutable T-square, which means that something comes to head. Something comes to a turning point. And with Pluto forming an in conjunction with you, you're feeling a built-up of pressure within you. Do you give up your power, go to the darker side and accept your reality right now? Or do you surpass this reality and move to the other side, to a higher power, to a higher trust, to a more powerful reality? An inconjunction requires adjustment. It requires reorientation. It requires us to transcend the current moment and move to the other side. This is all happening at 20 to 24 degree of Gemini. So if you have planets, if you're a Gemini rising, you'll feel it the strongest if you're the Gemini rising, especially with degrees between 20 to 23 or 24 degree. Though all of you will feel it. It's a very powerful energy. And if you're a Gemini sun, to some extent you'll feel it as well. And especially if you're born around 14th of June, which is Donald Trump. So a turning point comes where a lot of things have come out in the open. The reality of where we are, our enemies who are there, whether they are within us or outside us, we have seen them. Who are the people who are not helping us grow, who are holding our power back. And now is the turning point where there is a rebirth of power, rebirth of energy, rebirth of getting your true share, both financially as well as in personal life, in terms of your intimacy and depth of your relationship. This is the time of adjustment to some extent. When I say adjustment, it doesn't mean that we are compromising our goals, but a middle ground is formed. You versus your enemy. It could be a client, it could be a business partner, a one-on-one relationship which is hurting you right now, or it's perceived to be hurting you right now, or a one-on-one relationship which seems to be out of balance. Learning to deal with them will give you the career success. Your honor is challenged in some way. It's you versus either your partner or your enemy or a client, and it becomes a threat to your career progress or reputation to some extent. But you handle it in a very good way. So the out of the T-square is Venus and Pisces in your house of career. You handle, and what changes, how you change the situation around the coming month, around 15th and so on of the coming week, is that you change the situation with your charm, with your flexibility, with your allure. You are a mutable sign, Gemini. You know how to handle these situations in the best possible way as compared to anybody. And this T-cross, this T-square that is happening, it is a driving force within yourself, because you feel very strongly that you need to defend your honor, that you need to defend your positioning, that you need to resolve this conflict for once and for all. It might feel that there is something working against you right now. But at the same time, you know within your core that this is a turning point, that this is a serious decision point, that this is a point to decide what to keep, what to let go. And this is all happening in your house of joint partnership. This is happening in your house of proceeds of partnership, proceeds of the business that you are in, proceeds of intimacy in your relationship. How intimate and how giving you want to be in your personal partnership with your partner, and how to find a middle ground with them. And you will find a middle ground. If there is a person who's in conflict with you right now, there could be an enemy who's point blank against you right now, and you know it, coming to a middle path within that self. And you win this battle because Venus in 10th is in your favor. You win this by miles, by appeal of heart, by emotions. This is not about using Venus and Pisces in your house of career, is about using your emotional appeal to people. It is not about using facts. It's about using the fact that you have to get what you deserve right now. There's a built up within you, and it shows up in a very charming way in the coming month, in the coming week. And that is where things start turning, because this is a mutable T-square. You change the situation, you change the opposition, you change the way the things are playing out right now, and there is an imbalance of power between you and the others who are holding the resources, or you and the other who are holding the power over you in some ways, through resources, through intimacy, or there might be a substance that has a power over you. I'm sorry to say, but this is where we encounter our addictions to food or to substances or an unhealthy way of being, emotionally or physically, and we give it up irrevocably. We give up irrevocably anything that has an unhealthy amount of control and power over ourselves. This is where we give a rebirth to our power. This is where we find the balance in the partnerships. This is where we learn how to use our power responsibly. So there's a reality check which comes. Am I getting my fair share financially and in intimacy? Am I in the position I want to be? Do I have physically the power that I crave within my heart? Do I have it outside? And you create a new physical reality outside to get there. There's a rebirth, there is a regeneration, there is an old way of being emotionally and physically which is given away. And a new you emerges who knows how to yield a power responsibly and very, very positively. And this is a sort of a reincarnation, if I can call it, and it's not an easy birth. It's defined as a difficult birth. I'm sorry to say that, but it feels like a part of you is being given away. But some part of our life has to die for a new life to come. So letting old ways go, how you manage a partnership, how you manage your partners, what kind of power you play in a relationship. This is the house of paying taxes. I know, Donald Trump. I'm sorry to say that. I am not an American, not into politics at all. I'm just saying it is a house of paying taxes, karmic debts. So in some way, where we have not paid our taxes also comes out. Where we have not paid the tax of living in a partnership or in a financial resources reality. And what needs to happen for us to get to that level of proceeds of partnership that we deserve, the depth, the intimacy, the money we deserve? What needs to change? We leave the old ways, the old emotional patterns, the habits, the fears, the wounds behind. Some part of our life goes away and you feel emotionally rejuvenated. There are certain barriers to intimacy that are given away because we are becoming more real here about ourselves. This is a house of depth. Our soul is bared over here. It's not about pretending to be Superman or Superwoman over here. We are opening ourselves up to a new reality, to our partner and to the people who we want in our journey going forward. So there is some amount of vulnerability. As I said, your out is Venus. Venus is soft. Venus allures. Venus doesn't push. Venus creates an environment where things are attracted to you. Venus has an emotional approach to it. We learn to share power here. We learn to be responsible in our power here. On the material ways, investments come into focus. How am I earning my money right now? Am I getting my true returns on my investments? And you get more involved in your financial destiny. If you've been giving your investments to your partner to handle or to a business person to handle, like a relationship manager or business manager to handle, you take back a little bit of control back of your powers and financial powers. And it's not impulsive. It's not about taking risk. Saturn is here. So you take responsible decisions financially here. If there are any conflicts in sharing of assets with your partner, they get resolved. And this is all happening during the course of next 1.5 months. Because Saturn, Pluto and South Node will continue to be together for the larger part of rest of April and start of May. So we are looking at a long period of figuring it all out and creating new rules of proceeds of partnership with our partners. How much share do I deserve of your time, of your intimacy, of the depth in our partnership? How much reality of investment returns I deserve in what I've given in a business partnership? If you have started a business and you have invested in a business, you take stock over here. What are the ways in which I'm operating, which is not, this business is not giving me enough returns as I deserve? What is holding me back from getting the kind of returns in that business? I have been giving too much of my physical energy to someone who's addictive in partnership, and that's exhausting me. Do I really need to be with that person? Do I really need to be with that thing that I eat, which is taking my power away? The whole process is of reincarnation of your personal power. And this will translate in you getting a better share in both your personal life as well as your professional life, which are not exclusive of each other. This is you and your attitude and the way you want to handle your life and the way you assert yourself changing to create a completely new external reality. And Saturn and Pluto will come in exact contact with each other in January, which doesn't mean that this all will take till January to happen, but that is a new life starting. 2020 is a completely new start for you. After this phase, Saturn will move into the house of adventure. After we have created a healthy sense of self, a healthy sense of power, a healthy sense of confidence within ourselves, and a healthy balance in our partnership and our financial destiny, then we become the teacher. The next phase in 2020 is to you become the example, you become the teacher, you become the philosopher who guides other people in life, who becomes an example for others to follow. And then you merge with other people. Then you merge with other people who are different from you. You travel, you do things that are different for you. You relocate if you need to. You do the things that require you to be free of everything previous in your life. This is where we leave the dark side behind and move into the light. Whatever and whichever way you define your dark side. And many a times when we are in that phase, we do not see it ourselves. And especially for you, this is a side of you which is difficult to access because you are a very positive, outgoing person. And this is the season, as I said, to be all of that. But this underlying theme dominates your psyche. Because this is a side of you craving for more depth in life, craving for more power in life, which comes out in the surface with such strong planets and Ketu there. And these planets crave reality. They crave, where do you stand right now? They like come over there for a reality check, and it doesn't happen often. This is the first time since 15th century that these three planets and points are coming together. The last time they came together was in Protestant Revolution, and the entire fabric in which we operate in terms of the rules of the game, they transformed as a global event. And we'll see that happen on a global events basis from now all the way till January. A new way of governance, a new way of corporate governance, new rules of the game in terms of governments and countries and boundaries, all of that will come into place. And in our personal life, we are giving up some amount of way of being. A part of us is being said goodbye to. And you become a complete, and most of the people you'll see who are Gemini with any planets, Gemini ascendant, sun, moon, between around 18 to 23, 24 degree, you'll see them go through certain transformations in life and they go to the other side. When I was trying to prepare for your reading, and it always happens when you're focusing on a sign, something related to that sign comes. Susan Boyle, I had never heard of her. I just never looked at her videos. And Susan Boyle was a singer. She was 47 years old when she auditioned for British Got Talent. And she's from a small village and just completely obscure. At 47 years of the age, when you go to British Got Talent, they say that there must be something wrong in you. Why have you not been discovered so far? She surprised everybody in a minute. I'll put a link for you in the comments for you to look at. I was just so amazed. And as I was preparing for your reading, of course, I went and checked she was a Gemini. And this happened in about 10 years back, exactly 10 years back, when Pluto has just entered Capricorn. Sudden transformations, life changes in a minute for Geminis when Saturn, Pluto, and South Node, they're together in your house of transformation. Life changes in a minute. She surprised everybody. There was not a single soul, I believe, in that room full of people who believed in her, who thought that she can be who she is. And she changed that perception within 5 minutes by being all she could be. And she was not confrontational. She was smiling all about it. She did not believe in what others believed about herself in that moment. And she came out with her true power. This is the healthy sense of self, the healthy sense of power, the responsible use of power that we will see in all our lives at one point or the other. But you are gifted with that right now. This is a kind of transformation that you've been gifted with right now. And it's the time to shine and come to the other side. And it will become very clear to you over the course of this month, especially towards the end of the month when Saturn and South Node are coming together around 29th of April. You'll feel it very strongly that there's something that's got to change, and that will make sense to transform your life. A lot of information might have already come into view right now. Then Jupiter is going retrograde in your house of partnership. So it's possible that there's certain rules of the game within the way you connect with your clients, the way you connect with your partner, the way you connect with people on a one-on-one basis, that gets enhanced over the next couple of months, because Jupiter gets another go over the same degrees as it has been through this year. And it expands your opportunities with clients. It expands the way you and your partner are in terms of your love relationship, in terms of the depth of your relationship. If you're not in a committed relationship, it expands your view about what you want in a partner. The first thing is awareness. What do I want in a partner to commit to them? How do I want to connect on one-on-one basis, both personally and professionally, to make more impact? And you get opportunities to enhance that part of you from now all the way till June. In June, when Sun and Jupiter make an opposition to each other, you make a turning point and a new you emerges in the way you connect with people. This is especially true if you have planets between 14 degree to 30 degree of Gemini. So if you're a Gemini Sun born between 4th to 21st of June, you will feel it very, very strongly, because Jupiter is aspecting your Sun, especially right now around 4th of June born. They would get some gifts of labor right now. You will get some initial form of success in either getting a contract or getting some kind of opportunity to connect with somebody powerful right now, or opportunity for a new business, which might help you in your social status, in your public image, in terms of getting where you want in your career. This week you might get some opportunity, but at the same time you'll get a realization that certain rules of you connecting with another, or the way you handle your clients, or the way you handle people on a one-on-one basis, there's something that needs to be expanded further to enhance it, to enhance the value of this opportunity that is coming through to you. And this is especially true if you have planets around 14 degree of Gemini. So around 4th of June born Gemini Sun would experience that very strongly. Apart from that, now this is all happening, and then we have Mercury and Venus move into your house of networking. So I believe after 17th and 20th of April, the energy will become much easier on you. The Aries energy, when it moves into your ruling planet, it helps you, it soothes you in the way you connect. And so the connections will become easier. Your reconnection with your friends will become easier. You will see more clearly because things will come out in open. And 18th and 19th of April, I really like it because those are the dates when moon also agrees with you. And that leads us to a beautiful full moon, which is happening at the end of the month, around 19th of April, which will have an impact on you all the way till 4th of May. This brings some phase to completion. You see that an old phase of there's a culmination of an old phase which is coming, because this is happening at 29 degree of Libra. There's some amount of ending of an old phase which is happening. And at the same time, some release is felt as a result of that. This could be a culmination of some sort of risk you have taken in your business, and you see some results of that, some positive results of that coming through. This could be in form of a next level that you reach in your love relationship with somebody. This could be in form of a new phase with your child. Something completes in your child's life which gives you joy, because this is happening in your house of joy right now. So desires are felt being fulfilled at this stage. You feel that you've learned a lot in the last 6 months. You've come through a phase right now, and you're ready for a new phase here. You're ready for a new energy. In about 3 or 4 weeks, your season will be happening, and we'll see a completely new start come through. You're putting the end to the old phase right now. If there's a business that you opened up, and you initiated 6-7 months back, you see that there is a way to get to the next level in that business, and you realize some things come into focus in that creative venture or if financial business, which shows you that there is a way to get to the next level now, and there's some information that comes to life. There is an element of surprise that is coming with this full moon, and the surprise is you realizing certain unconscious beliefs which were holding you back from taking more risk in your life, in your speaking up in your romantic relationship, taking more risk in your business to get to the next level, taking more risk in with your children to connect deeper. So some amount of unconscious belief or lack of faith in your life comes into open, and you start a new cycle with that realization. Certain hidden desires come into open because you realize that you were holding your desires back. Maybe to compromise for another, maybe to compromise for a larger set, maybe to look agreeable to a large set of people. You realize that you have this confidence within you to pursue something greater. This is the house of faith in you. This is the house of positive karma coming through. This is the house of something coming to fruition, a completion, a joy coming to light. Because you might have been too busy with your goals, with your business, trying to make other people happy, and a lot of information coming through at the start of the month. This gives you some amount of relief, I feel. A completion of something, completion of a carefree flow of energy coming through. This is especially true if you have planets around n degree of Gemini. But because it's happening at a critical degree, all of you will feel it. But especially if you have planets around 27, 28, 29, 30 degree of Gemini, or if you're born around 18th of June to 21st of June, you'll feel it very, very strongly in an easy fashion. And this comes with some amount of healing. If there has been a hurt in the past, or a feeling within your heart that you cannot break through an influential set of network, that you cannot break through and become popular, for example, on a social network, on a social group. It heals your goals, your inspirations, your dreams. There's a healing that is coming through, especially around 19th of this month and 23rd of this month, with sudden realization that you have what it takes. You have more desires within you, and this opens up a vault of joy, a vault of passion, a vault of confidence, a vault of love. And there's an ending of a phase which might have felt a little bit hard to some extent right now, and we break to the other side as the month progresses towards May. We leave behind certain restrictions that we only imposed on our ambition. We leave behind the feeling of hurt that I cannot become what I dream of. I cannot break through a business network. I cannot break through a friend's network, or a hurt with a specific person who's your friend, or who's a person of influence in your network. There's a breakthrough in that, especially around 23rd of this month. If there has been some amount of hurt related to social network, any of these platforms are hurtful. These platforms are hurtful right now. And so much negativity sometimes comes from the other side, and we take them as a reality of our life, which is not true at all. Our reality is beyond these social networks. I think it was Lady Gaga. She said Twitter is the toilet of the social world. I'm sorry to use that, but it's true. We get so much, to put it mildly, crap through our social networks. Sometimes just getting over that to a higher plane, and ending that, moving to a joyful part of life. And then at the end of the month, around 27th of this month, Mars in your sign meets Neptune. You get a higher inspiration to work towards your goals. Neptune is trying to dissolve any boundaries, any self-imposed restrictions we are placing on how we are looked at in our public image. It is helping your public image. It is making you more alluring as a public image. And right now we have Venus and Neptune both in your 10th house. If there was somebody who can do it in terms of charming people, it would be you. You have to use it in that way, because when Venus and Neptune, they're both in our 10th house and they're squaring us, we can use this energy either ways. We can get into conflicts with people right now who are people of authority. We can get into confrontation with people who are co-workers with us, the daily people, or the people on network who we think they are our friends for some reason, because network is not reality, right? Online platforms are not reality. But yeah, if we get into arguments there, so it can play out like that. But then you have the energy to reverse that, to change that, to make it work for your benefit. Because by you standing your ground, you have a lot of energy to stand your ground. But at the same time, you can use the power of Venus right now to be charming in how you handle that situation and get to the other end. You can get things done in a mutable way right now. And you have that trump card which others don't. So 27th of April, you'll see a lot of people trying to trick and use other negative ways of getting things, while you can just do it with the charm. You can get whatever you deserve and want on that day by acting on it using your charm, using your mutability. Your mutability means your ability to adjust to a situation by reading the room. When we have Neptune in a house of career, we can sense where we want to go and where we do not want to go. We can sense how we can get an authority figure to agree with us. We can sense how we can make our public image more positive in the direction where we want to, which will help our business, which will help our future growth. We know those ways, and you can act on those on 27th of April, provided you keep the ego struggles and to some extent it is not the time to work on somebody else's agenda. On 27th of April, you'll find a lot of nefarious energies. People trying to dupe you, deceive you, tell you that this is what you should do, this is what you should not. No, listen to yourself on that day. From especially around 25th to 29th of April, do not take inputs from outside. This is the time for you to follow what you think is right. Your intuition about your career is right and very high. Use that, especially if you have planets around 17 to 18 degree of Gemini, or if you're born around 7th of June, use your own intuition on that day. And then we take it from there. 27th and 28th, Aquarius moon gives you the amount of detachment required from the situation to make it work for you. And it's in positive. You're emotionally, you will not be riled up like a lot of people on that day. And you'll make it work. And you'll make it work for yourself. So good luck for this month. And this is a very, very powerful turning point in my view, and you break through to the positive side with that. I'll see you next month when we have almost your season beginning. So we'll get into that. Thank you so much. I'll see you in May.